here from the academy. Played in the England under-19 invitational side and to warm up for the England under-19 main squad series with South Africa earlier this year. So he's obviously got recognition across the country as well, and he's another exciting youngster on the books at Glamorgan. So as you said, with the 4 of the top 6 batters going, really it does give those opportunities, and even people like Henry Hurl, Will Smale, who haven't played a great deal of senior cricket, are going to get those opportunities as well.
Yeah, and when you look at the side, actually for quite an experienced bowling lineup, with perhaps the exception of Romano Franco, the young left-arm spinner, but Tim van der Hooft and Andy Gorvin, of course, who's captaining in this competition, Jamie McElroy, Dan Douthwaite, lots of experience there, but it's a younger batting lineup. Of course, this competition is a place where younger players can really sort of make their name. And we remember Tom Norton last year making his debut, playing a couple of matches and then going on to do amazing things in the championship this year. Well, he's one name that is missing. He has got a bad back, and so a stress fracture, and so hopefully that won't keep him out for too long. And also Ned Leonard, not yet recovered from the shoulder injury he picked up in the blast as well. So, yeah, interesting to see. Experienced bowling attack, less experienced batting. Let's just quickly turn our attention then to Sussex, who have won the toss and have elected to bowl. And again, I think similar story for them. Some new faces there as well, and a couple of debuts as well.
Yeah, they're always missing a few with the 100, with the likes of Jofra Archer. Obviously you wouldn't necessarily expect to see in this competition anyway, Tymel Mills, but also likes of Danny Briggs, as well as Tom Alsop, who's been picked up this year, so they've been forced into a few changes. Couple of debuts for them, Toby Munt and Ollie Kirtley, son of the England Test bowler and Sussex legend James Kirtley. So they've both got debuts, and then there's also Troy Henry, who played just 1 game last year, along with Dom Goodman, who's only 25 and hasn't played a great deal of cricket due to his injuries. So it is a rather youthful bowling attack, but they've got plenty of options in all-round departments as well. If you just go through the rest of the side, basically Jack Carson, the captain, Finn Hudson-Prentice, Jack Leaning is probably the most experienced player on the side, Dan Ibrahim, Tom Price, George Thomas can bowl a bit of handy medium pace as well, and Charlie Tears, the wicket-keeper, at the top of the order. So plenty of options in the bowling department, plenty of youth with a bit of experience from Finn Hudson-Prentice, who's got the ball in his hand, and Jack Leaning as well.
So, an opportunity to get to know some new players on both sides. And the Glamorgan opening pair, just taking guard Eddie Byram, who's going to take the first ball. Got experienced player left-hander, and he's partnering Callum Nichols on debut, so a very big moment for him and his family.
Good opportunity this for Eddie Byram as well, who's obviously been out of the first 11 since those first few championship games, really.
So the scene is set, couple of slips in, as Finn Hudson-Prentice will open up from the Llantwit Road end, and in he comes to get things underway. And 1 to the total straight away. Just trying to find his get the radar straight early on. So yeah, attacking as you'd expect here. Sussex, a couple of slips in, see if they can get a couple of early wickets. The pitch itself actually looks quite green, even though it's been very hot in this part of the world. First runs off the bat. So Eddie Byram up and running, and that brings Callum Nichols on to face his first ball in the Glamorgan first team. Yeah, big moment, has been in and around it for a while, but now he's here. We'll be really keen to make sure he takes his chance.
He wouldn't be given the opportunity unless they felt he was ready and thought it was right. They could have done it last year, but gave him that extra year, and he's made plenty of runs at second 11, and as I mentioned, in Premier Club cricket as well. So they feel he's ready, and why not give him the opportunity?
It's a good zit and carry from Hudson Prentice. Keeper taking that in front of his face. Keeper Charlie Tier. The crowd just gently filling up here. It's lovely to sit so close to the action. There's a couple of rows of seats most of the way around the boundary, and yeah, a lovely feel. A bit of cloud cover here, but certainly a lovely warm day again. And Nichols gets back to ball.
I can't remember the attendance numbers when we were here last year, but it definitely got to a couple of thousand, didn't it? Because they played against Hampshire here in the opener, and that was a thrilling game. Kieran Carlson at a big 100.
And a couple of young Hampshire lads who could have introduced themselves in that game.
Yeah, Manny Lumsden, 16-year-old then, and he's now gone on to play in the Blast finals day and England under-19s. He's
what a prospect.
An exciting player. And they all started here.
Yeah, that's it. I remember it well. Kieran Carlson hitting him for a couple of sixes over the pavilion, and then he came back well and got some wickets. Well, that's a lovely drive. There we go. Well, that'll settle him down. Lovely cover drive from Callum Nichols, and greeted with a loud round of applause from his teammates in the pavilion as well.
It's always going to get you off to a nice start when you can do that, isn't it? Ball was moving, played it nicely. Swinging just away from Nichols, freed the hands.
Yeah, crisp shot. That'll certainly make him feel a little bit better, and we'll hope he can hang around for a while. Think about a single, but wisely decide against it. So 6 without loss, 1 ball to come in the first over. Of course, power play first 10 overs here, so some fielding restrictions. Only a couple of fielders allowed out on the boundary. They're currently down at third man and fine leg. But 2 slips in. 3 fielders saving 1 on the offside. 2 on the leg. Nichols defends again to bring to an end a good first over. 6 without loss. And Callum Nichols with his first boundary for the first team.
Yeah, as I said, just one to settle the nerves, isn't it? I think when on debut, you probably first thought, right, if I can just survive 1 ball, then it's right, okay, now get off the mark and then see how far you can go from there. So to start with the boundaries, he's done the second step in quite an accelerative manner. So
that's it, just feeling the ball on the bat.
Yeah,
that's just what he wants at this early stage.
Dom Goodman is going to take the new ball from the Dyfed Road end. Of course, in this competition you get a new ball at each end, so a fresh one. The Sussex opening bowler signed from Gloucestershire at the start of this season. Bowl to Eddie Byram. It's a bit short to start, a bit of a loose no, and Eddie Byram gets away his first boundary, up and over, extra cover.
Yeah, short and wide there. Nice invitation for Byram. He didn't worry about hitting it in the air. Was confident he could get it up and over, and a boundary for him. So Glamorgan into double figures.
And driven nicely into that same region. This time it was a bit fuller from Dom Goodman, probably went too much the other way, and Byram just climbed into it. Back-to-back boundaries.
Yeah, seeing evidence here just how quick this outfield is. That's absolutely racing kind of up the hill here towards us where we're commentating at the moment. But yeah, he kind of leant on that, didn't he, and just timed it nicely, and it absolutely flew through the gap. So potential for a high-scoring game, you'd think here. Not a big ground.
Our grounds do tend to be high-scoring generally, don't they? Because they are just naturally smaller grounds, and here it is particularly small. If you look square of the wicket, I think. I remember a lot of boundaries last year, particularly coming square of the wicket. Well, he has brought that man into a short extra now. Dan Ibrahim has come out of second slip to go there.
Yeah, interesting tactic that. I suppose that's immediately plugging a gap that Eddie Byram has put them through. But I mean, there maybe is a case to kind of leave the gap there and encourage him to drive in that with 2 slips in to try and induce the nick. But they've chosen to. He's quite close in, so maybe see it as a catching position as much as a run saver.
Well, it depends what the pitch is going to offer as well. As you said, it is a bit green. Maybe the ground staff wanted to make it a bit greener to negate the fact that it is a small ground. You don't want it to be one-sided for batters. As much as that might be entertaining for the crowd, I'm not sure how enjoyable it is for the players to have a 400 plays 400 game. Shorter and tickled round the corner, and there's going to be a chase on from Hudson Prentice. He will haul it in, and then a relay not perfectly executed means they can come back for 3.
Well, that's good running on a smallish ground. Got it right into the corner, which I suppose is one of the longer boundaries there is here.
Probably the longest, yeah, down that side, isn't it?
Yeah, they ran hard though, which was good. And picked a 3 nice stop. Good to see the big fast bowlers sort of just got rid of it before his feet crossed the rope. Well,
the sign there must be that the outfield must have been watered pretty well, because he slid quite far. Hudson Prentice almost took the ball over the rope with him.
Yeah, your sort of heart is in your mouth a little bit when you see big fast bowlers sliding around on the grounds like this. Just hope that a foot or boot doesn't catch in the turf and do something to one of their limbs, but he did that really well because they practice that sort of stuff a lot.
Nichols happy to defend the final ball, so a productive one for Glamorgan. 11 from it with those 2 boundaries and that triple, so 17 without loss after 2 overs.
Yeah, good start. No dangers, no issues, no false strokes even. So and a few nice boundaries. So good start for Glamorgan. They haven't really had to take any risks or do anything fancy. Just put away the bad balls when they were on offer. And at this level, you always get a few. And what they've done well is made sure they went to the boundary. So Finn Hudson Prentice to continue. So Eddie Byram waits, left-hander. Another single. Down to George Thomas here, fielding in front of us. So I guess interested to see what their approach is. Obviously it's the power play. There are more gaps to hit boundaries, less cover on the perimeter, and it's a question of how hard they want to go this opening pair.
Well, both are natural red ball openers as well, so I think it'll be proper cricket played.
Yeah, getting forward there, Callum Nichols.
So if you look down the lineup as well, you've got Will Smale, who we're expecting to come in at 4. He opens in the T20s. Alex Horton down at 7. Usually that's probably flexible, but listed at 7. He usually bats in the top order in the T20, so I think that's a sign of 50 over cricket's interesting, isn't it? Because you've got the power play, but it's not played in the same way that a T20 power play is.
Good connection, but straight to George Thomas, who's in the gully. Got down to it well.
And just with the 2 fielders out at deep third and at fine leg as well, it means everything feels a bit tighter in the ring in front of square. George Thomas just behind square at a point there with a big gap round to cover and then another big gap round to mid-off.
So maybe trying to tempt, if they can get the ball pitched up and get a bit of movement, trying to tempt Nichols to drive at something. Defends again. It's been tighter from Hudson Prentice this over. Just a single from it from the first 4 balls so far.
Yeah, he's probably the most experienced bowler in this Sussex lineup. I mean, Jack Carson's the captain. He's only 25 years of age. Hudson Prentice, 30-year-old, former Derbyshire. Useful across all formats for Sussex.
Hooks has got all of that. One bounce for, well, there's a sign of confidence from Nichols, the first one that was dropped short at him. Well, no question of ducking it or get out of the way. Hooked it with a great connection above head height, really, so it was pretty high, and sent that all the way to the boundary. Good shot. And evasive tactics needed in the crowd there as well. You are very, very close to the boundary rope when you're sat down there. It'll take your life in your hands a little bit when the ball's flying about. Oh, we've seen a nice shot from Nichols, one of the offside, and that attacking shot on the leg side. He's put those away really well, actually. I'll be pleased with that. 22 without loss after 3.
Yeah, I think we saw with that short ball, it didn't quite zip through as much as you'd probably expect on, I talk about pitches, as I said, around this time of year with the weather we've had. Usually on the harder flat surfaces you might want to look to bowl back of a length to try and get a bit of pace and carry out of it, but where this one is a bit greener, it is a bit softer, and you could tell that from the way it came off the pitch when it was short, just hung up there for Nichols. Well, and that one's hung there and it's caught by Dan Ibrahim at extra cover.
Well, maybe that's making your point there. That one just seemed to hold in the wicket, and Eddie Byram was in position to turn it onto the leg side. Got into position a little bit early as maybe the ball stopped on him, leading edge, and that has just looped up for an easy catch at short cover. It's a disappointment for Eddie Byram. Yeah, interesting, just even with the hook shot we were talking about earlier, the fact he hooked it so far in front of square perhaps suggests the speed of this pitch, and yeah, just got there too early. Easy catch for Ibrahim, was never going to drop that. So, well, first wicket down.
Yeah. And there again, there's the sign of just holding in the wicket, and they did move Ibrahim out of second slip in the previous over to plug that gap. Obviously sensed that the pitch might offer that.
What is the definition of extraordinary? Today the extraordinary downtown
He's going to get off the mark straight away, just off the inside half of the bat, takes a single. Yeah, he played 5 games in this competition last year. 21 years old. Just finished his studies, I believe, at Cardiff University, where he played in the UCCE setup there, so obviously he's good practice playing against counties. Made 99 against Northants earlier this season, which would have been nice for him to get 100 against a county side, but shows the potential he's got. That one again there, just popping off the surface, just hitting the gloves or top of the bat of Callum Nichols.
Yeah, I think it's the bounce here, isn't it? Maybe a little bit tennis ball. It's sort of slowing and lifting, not coming on quite as the batters would like, so that dismissal of Eddie Byram will just put a little question mark in the mind of these two batters here.
Dom Goodman as well is a slightly taller, probably slightly quicker bowler as well, so he might be the one to get something out the surface if anyone's going to. Finn Hudson Prentice is quite tall as well, but not as quick, probably more around the mid 70s mark. Goodman's probably towards late 70s, pushing early 80s when he gets in full flow. Another single taken for Nichols, who with every run is just going to grow in confidence here.
Well, he's looked really compact, really tidy, strong defence, and when he's had the opportunity to free his arms, he's done that really well. Really lovely pull shot and a lovely cover drive as well. So good signs, but it's just a start.
And a confident drive from Hurl to finish, albeit back to the bowler. So wicket in the over for Goodman. Byram gone for 13 after 4 overs. Glamorgan a 24 for 1.
Yep, so, well, the loss of the wicket there. That's, Glamorgan would hope to be able to, that it won't turn into 2 or 3. I think that's what they've got to try and make sure here. And a good opportunity here for these two young batters. Just got a really good chance if they can get themselves in to score quickly and score big. But with the pitch just signs that's maybe a little bit too paced, and so bowler's certainly interested as well. Short and put away. Well, that again is a very confident, almost dismissive shot by Nichols. Short and wide, and he pounced on it, got over it as well and hit it down. Another quality stroke.
Yeah, nicely latched onto. Again, that's just not the length on this pitch. It seems, from what we've seen already, only 4 overs in. It's just sitting up there nicely for the batter to dismiss. And Callum Nichols, when it's come, he has put it away.
And again, hit it in front of square, which just suggests the ball's not really coming on and it's not quick, this pitch. Defends again. I think he's got a really solid, compact technique. Getting in behind it.
I think when you've got 2 slips as well, it's, you know, you've got to be pushing the ball up there, see if the white ball does swing early. If it is going to swing at all, it's going to be in the first 5-10 overs.
So still the 2 slips in for Hudson Prentice. Looking for a second wicket here, the Sharks. Put them in a good position. Stifled appeal, but looks like it was going down. Well, it's good to see a young player looking so confident. He certainly looks like it's his stage. Just even the way he holds himself in between balls and the way he hit the ball away to the boundary and just turned away. Good signs there. Clearly. These head him up. And so that is the end of Callum Nichols for 13, 28 for 2. And, well, a bit of rebuilding needs to be done here now, as Will Smale comes out. Glamorgan's number 4.
Yeah, one of the more experienced players in this side now, which feels bizarre to say as someone who's just 25 years old. Played a lot of T20 cricket, played about 20 List A games and just 3 first-class games, so has been around, and he was around a long time before that as well, playing a lot of second 11 cricket, trialling, and another one from the university scheme system. So he has played a lot of cricket, and it's just bizarre though, isn't it? You know, when they play football in their warm-ups, for example, it's normally like old v young uns. I would imagine he was on the older side today with the amount of youngsters in there. So he'll have to take the responsibility today.
Well, defends the final ball of the 5th over. 28 for 2 as Blake heads off for a well-deserved cup of tea. And be joined now by the sports journalist Alid Hopkins. So 28 for 2 after 5, and well, 2 new batters at the crease. Callum Nichols has faced 19 balls and probably felt he just about got himself in, and then got a ball that just moved away, pitched up and nicked it. So disappointment for him. But Alid, good to see you. And after this ball, we'll just chat a bit about the match context. What have you made of the first 5 overs?
Yeah, morning Ash, morning everyone. I was just about to say, morning Ash. I was just about to say that Glamorgan had made a decent start before that wicket of Callum Nichols, and disappointing for Nichols. He looked in really good nick, didn't he? Especially to the short ball, put those 2 ones away, and he'll be really disappointed. Just got a good ball though from Hudson Prentice. It just moved late, I think.
Oof! Now that one has climbed and lifted. That's perhaps the quickest delivery we've seen so far. That one did seem to fly through, beat the outside edge of Henry Hurl, and a bit of bounce as well.
Yeah, look quick, that one from Goodman, and I think the Sharks have just found their length a little bit on this pitch now. It's slightly back of a length. In the first couple of overs they were guilty of over pitching and it got punished, and then, you know, a little bit too short. I think they've found that ideal length now.
Hurl defends. Yeah, the bounce does seem to be the thing here that is proving most difficult to handle for the batters. Ball stopping and climbing a little bit, not coming on. We've seen a lot of the attacking shots being hit in front of square, so that suggests that it's not coming on quickly.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, or as you and Blake mentioned earlier, small dimensions here, square of the wicket, so...
and that's a chance. That has been missed, and Goodman, you can see, he knows that was a chance. Big tall man, hard to get down. It was probably about knee height when it got to him, as Hurl just blocked it back.
Yeah, he's a tall man, is Goodman, and as a fellow tall man myself, I know how difficult that is to get down.
Right, don't rub it in.
But Hurl just not quite over that shot. Didn't get his head in a good position, off balance, and I mean, this has been an excellent over so far from Goodman.
Yeah, 4 dots so far. There's 5. Then we'll just hope to finish it off and get himself a well-deserved maiden. Yeah, 28 for 2, with 1 ball left in the 6th over. And so, just...
अरे सुनो ब्राइट तो सब राइट कर देगा ना
their scoring rate has been okay, but you can find that length, that just hard length, just short of a length, where the ball's coming through more kind of waist height, certainly, you know, high hip height around there, then it does look harder to play.
Yeah, and these two are just trying to figure that out for themselves at the moment, aren't they? You know, Hurl's 1 off 8, and 2 overs ago I was looking at the run rate and it was climbing up towards 7. It's down towards 4.83 now, so really good job by the Sussex bowlers.
So Hudson Prentice back into the attack, left alone by Smale. It was that awkward length, and he's going to go down and give that a prod. No, that's about the area, just short of a length, which I've seen the ball sort of climb through. So need to work this out. Obviously Sussex winning the toss and maybe thought their best chance was to have a bowl early on.
Yeah, I was slightly surprised at that, but then looking at their team, there's probably more bowling in this team than batting, so maybe that factored into the decision making, and obviously the green looking surface would have as well, but slightly surprising with that.
So Smale got a very exaggerated trigger movement, steps quite a long way back into his crease. Again, just going down just to prod the pitch, and look at that area where Hudson Prentice has started to land it on a more regular basis now. There's a few loose ones early on, as you might expect.
And he's come in good form, hasn't he, Will Smale? Had a good back end of the T20 competition and ended with 350s in that, 342 runs in the comp as well. So he's in decent nick here, Will Smale.
This time comes down the pitch. Just trying to ask a few questions of the bowler. Put him off his length. Yeah, Smale in the blast, his job pretty much is to come in and whack it, isn't it? Will be a different sort of role now, particularly in the match circumstances that he finds himself in. Glamorgan will not want to go 3 down this early on. Although there is quite a bit of batting to come. You'd say definitely bat down to 9 probably in this side, but still you don't want to leave it to 6, 7, 8, 9 on the top order to build the platform. Big appeal, hit on the back leg and given.
Wow.
Well, Will Smale is gone. He stops and stares. I don't think he can quite believe what's happened. Was hit on the back leg by a full delivery, and the umpire, well, he raised the finger with no hesitation. So Glamorgan in a spot of bother here, 29 for 3, and we're still midway through the 7th over.
Yeah, it's really, really disappointing for Will Smale. Just waiting for the replay to get a better view of that. But umpire seemed convinced, as you said. Replay coming up here now. As you said, there's that trigger movement back in and across, and yeah, it's dead in front, isn't it? Full length ball from Hudson Prentice, and it looks pretty dead eye. Yeah,
it just went straight on. That probably is hitting middle of the leg, isn't it, by the looks of things. So yeah, no hesitation. The umpire was absolutely convinced, as were the Sharks players, and so Glamorgan in a little bit of bother here. And what a time to come out on debut. Jack Hope Bell coming out. He would have liked to have come out with a bit of a platform and maybe the freedom to play, but he now knows that there's a little bit of rest on his shoulders now. Him and Henry Hurl, 2 young players. Yeah, and Bell on debut, and he will have to try and battle his way through this very tricky period here, get himself in and try and help Glamorgan to rebuild something here.
And Hurl now has to take that senior role, doesn't he, with Jack Hope Bell, and fairly inexperienced himself. It's a big job for these two now, but Hudson Prentice and Goodman in the last couple of overs have really done well. They've, as we said, they've found that length, and after a good start from Glamorgan, they've wrestled it back in favour of the visitors.
Lets the first one go by. I think with the ball doing a bit off that length, or just short of a length, a judicious leave, probably a good tactic early on. Don't want to play it too much. That's rising, going past off stump at sort of 5th, 6th stump. 2 slips still in place, and they'll definitely feel like they're in
HBL फ्रीडम अकाउंट के साथ मुफ्त IBFT, मुफ्त चेकबुक, मुफ्त ऑनलाइन बैंकिंग और बे
for 3, and well, they need these two to hang around if they can.
Yeah, they've got to build a partnership now, these two, and Jack Hope-Bell has earned his spot, his opportunity in this competition, and can he take it? It would be a brilliant debut knock if he can do something here with Henry Hurl as well, who will be one of those players wanting to use this competition to elevate himself in the coach's thinking going into the end of the championship, and then of course into next season as well. So obviously only the first game in this competition here today, but you do feel that there is runs out there to be scored, even if the pitch is offering a little bit for the bowlers. It's an even contest at the moment. We've seen an even battle for both, haven't we, so far?
So Goodman to Hurl. Henry Hurl gets forward and just blocks that back. So a bit of pressure here. Got to decide whether to stick or twist if anything's in the slot. You think you've got to try and put it away, keep the scoreboard ticking. But I don't think the Sussex bowlers will mind watching either of these batters driving at this stage. Of course, as soon as try and play an expansive shot like that, there's always a chance of a wicket, a missed shot. And Hurl is defending now, just getting himself in.
Yeah, and Goodman's just hitting that length consistently now, and he's, as you say, he's putting pressure on the batters to play a more expansive shot, and then he knows he's in the game. The ball is in his court at the moment. He's dictating things, just saying to the batters, come on, come and try and hit me.
Well, just a single in 10 balls, Henry Hill so far. Cuts, but doesn't really time it as he would like, and just goes straight to the fielder there at a backward point, and another dot ball. So these dot balls are starting to build up a bit here now.
Yeah,
so we haven't had a run since the 5th over, and we've had a couple of wickets. So, well, just a wide. That's all we've had.
Yeah, spoiled his maiden, didn't it?
Oh, well, that was a better looking shot, and fair play to Goodman. Got down really, really well. We saw him drop a catch a little bit earlier. I think that one, I don't know whether it definitely got him on the hand. I think I just wonder whether it got him on the shin or the foot. Well, Henry Hill drove that well. Yeah,
just attacking that middle stump line again, though, isn't he? And just there or thereabouts all the time. Really hard to turn it onto the leg side as well, and at that length. So he's really found his range here, Goodman, and as you mentioned there, that continuous dots apart from the wide. Morgan finding it really tough to get anything now. And just fixing his laces or his strapping on the boot.
Well, it's 21 balls since we've had a run off the bat.
Yeah, just shows how well these two have done. And another dot from Goodman, putting together another maiden over potentially. 3.7 now the run rate. That has really plummeted, hasn't it, from, I think when I joined the commentary on the 6th over, it was up near 7 or just under. Really plummeted.
Well, what they've not been able to do really is rotate the strike with singles. It's just been a flurry of boundaries early on, but now having to work hard to just stay in there as the wickets have been tumbling. So at the end of the 8th over, Glamorgan just on pause at the moment, 29 for 3. These two just trying to hang in there. Henry Hill's faced 14 deliveries and has only got a single to his name. He's also been dropped, so just have got to try and work out a way here just to keep this scoreboard ticking, just to rotate the strike. Both batters will feel easier if that's happening, even if they're not hitting boundaries. It always feels better when you're jogging up the other end and watching for a bit. You feel like you're doing something. The scoreboard is ticking. And the young Newport player Jack Hope Bell now has a chance to rebuild something for Glamorgan here as Hudson Prentice comes in and clip round the corner. There we go. Well, that's a run off the bat, first one for a while, and his first run as well, so will feel like a significant moment, I'm sure.
It will, absolutely, when runs have been that hard to come by, and he's a young player who's come in this situation. He's seen his partner at the other end really struggle to get anything away, and that'll just give him a notch of confidence. He's been in fantastic form for Newport and for the second team, as well as obviously been called up with the England under-19 setup as well. Really promising young player, and if he can perform in a pressure environment like this today, it's really encouraging signs for both him and Glamorgan.
Hurl drives, and there we go, and that's the first one he's got through. Hit it really cleanly, hit it up there towards the hospitality tent, away to our right, up the hill, and well, a little bit of pressure relieved.
Yeah, just slightly fuller there from Hudson Prentice, and a little bit of movement away, slightly wider, just allowed Hurl to free his hands, and he absolutely smashed it through the cover region. Much needed boundary for Glamorgan.
Let it go, and well, it was wide. So beyond the little blue lines you can see there on your screen, which help the umpire decide what's wide and what's not. And that one just creeping a little bit too wide to the offside. Only just, but shaping away.
Just takes off the pitch, and there is a little bit of a sort of ridge at this end, this David Road end, just around the batter's feet. We've seen a few balls take off from that length. Remember that from playing here myself in my junior days, and it's quite a significant slope up to the dressing rooms and the commentary position as well, isn't it? On this offside.
Yeah, we feel quite raised. Is that where we are?
It's almost a naturally elevated commentary position here at Neath. Don't need a fancy scaffolding box or
no
media centre.
I must say the facilities they've changed it. We were in a tent last year, so we've got a lovely wooden kind of gazebo's perhaps not the right word, but a lovely pat shot again. Hurl hit a couple of really great straight drives, hasn't he, and has not had value for either of them.
No, really unlucky that time. Hit it so well and cannons into the stumps at the other end. Thankfully it was hit too hard for Hudson Prentice to get anything on it, and that would have been an awful way for Jack Hope Bell to go on debut, wouldn't it? But really unlucky for Hurl. Brilliant shot.
That's normally a good sign, isn't it, if a player is able to play those straight drives. Very unlucky though, he's hit those hard along the floor as well, and showing the full face of the bat, but unable to get it through again. Blocked by the stumps this time. Flicks it dismissively through mid-wicket. Wristy shot, finds the gap, and Hurl a couple of boundaries this over.
Yeah, just releasing the pressure a little bit now. Just again over pitch slightly from Hudson Prentice, and I love those little flicks when the back leg goes up. Really nice controlled shot into that mid-wicket region. No fielder there, ran away nice and easily to that long boundary on that side.
Well, they've just moved second slip out now. Dan Ibrahim's gone in at sort of short, catching mid-wicket, probably for that shot. It was a little bit in the air, and I think that's why he's been placed there. Think about a single, but decide against it.
But that's a much better over from Glamorgan.
Yeah, 39 for 3 after 9, and that one with a couple of boundaries. Certainly the best we've had for a while, and but perhaps the most important thing is that these two are still there.
Yeah, and that just eases that conversation in the middle now. I think just eases the pressure a little bit, and those two will will take confidence from what they've seen. They've seen Hudson Prentice just over pitching slightly a few times in that over, and in fairness to Hurley, he made him pay.
So Goodman, 1 for 14 so far from his 4 overs. Pretty tidy stuff. Got the wicket of Eddie Byram as well.
Question is, can they get this man away? Because at the moment he is tying down the Glamorgan pair. Took 2 wickets in the championship game at Hove as well. So Glamorgan have seen him before this season, Goodman. Maybe not these two though, but...
So Jack Hobell. Defends. Solidly in behind it.
Bit less pace on that one from Goodman. It seemed. I think it just held in the track slightly. Bell, nice solid in defence, but still the string of dots that Goodman is putting together continues. Jack Carson will be absolutely thrilled with how he's bowled.
Short, just that back of a length again, and Hope Bell up on his toes, trying to make sure that he gets right over it. Just important at the moment that he stays there, just calms the mood around the team amongst those waiting to bat. I mean, just there was that sense when 1, 2, 3 wickets fall in quick succession, the kind of slight air of panic can run through a team, but trying to just let that drain away.
Notice that Ibrahim, who's collecting the ball now, is in closer, that catching mid-wicket to Hope Bell.
Well, it seems like a reasonable tactic to me, if the ball is holding in the pitch, just to get a couple of catches in reasonably close, and where Ibrahim is now, for the ball that stops and you get a leaning edge, which you're trying to turn around the corner, that's the sort of region it's going to fly into the air.
And that's what we saw with Eddie Byram, wasn't it?
Exactly
that exact thing.
Cuts. Lovely shot. Well, that's a classy shot. Jack Hobell's lean back on it and cut it in front of square for his first boundary.
Beautifully played from Hope Bell. Again, just used those last couple of balls to find his range on this pitch and leant back, hit his hands through the shot to that offside, picked the gap on that offside, and really nice boundary for him and for his team as well.
So 43 for 3, 1 ball left to come in the power play. Runs it off the outside edge. Just going to take 1. And so at the end of the power play, Glamorgan are at 44 for 3 with Henry Hurl on 9 and Jack Hope Bell on debut on 6.
Yeah, and a decent recovery in the last couple of overs from Glamorgan. They're 5 off that over before Goodman had tied them down with a maiden before that. And just starting to come back into it now. These two build in a bit of a partnership, and they'll hope that they can bat through for another couple of overs. Nice crowd here now, emerging. We're 10 overs into this innings. A bit of a hum around the ground as well.
So change of bowling from the Llanthwit Road end. It's Tom Price coming into the attack. He's going to replace Hudson Prentice.
Yeah, Tom Price, all format player, joining from Gloucestershire this season. Did play against Glamorgan in that championship game.
Yeah, a lot of all-rounders in this team.
Yeah.
It seems loads of bowling options that they have. Nice that Jack Carson has plenty of options at his disposal. He bowls nice off-spin himself as well, of course.
I was just about to say he's probably going to have a big hand in this bowling attack as well himself. It's been one of those names aired around the England conversation when chatting about a spinner. Mason Crane, one of those as well. Obviously away with 100 at the moment, but Jack Carson was another one of those names mentioned that I heard. One of the few Northern Irish cricketers in the circuit. Born in Craigavon, Jack Carson. A strong Welsh contingent in this Glamorgan side today. Obviously a young side with plenty of academy prospects, plenty of Welsh representation.
Well, it's definitely something they're trying to work towards here at Glamorgan. I think they do feel that things are pretty healthy with in the pathway. Of course, we've got a couple of players here, recent products. Well, both these batters actually, Henry Hurl and Jack Cope Bell, and of course we saw Callum Nichols a little bit earlier as well. Both players who've come through the junior system, young Welsh lads, and there are others to come as well.
Will Smale, of course, as well. We've seen, and
in the squad Harry Wallace, of course, as well, who son of Glamorgan Director of Cricket Mark Wallace, who has been having a brilliant year, scoring hundreds for fun, including one in the sort of an invitational sort of warm-up game for the England under-19s just a couple of weeks ago. A terrific prospect he is. Has been part of the under-18s, Glamorgan under-18s side that won the National Cup last year as well. So. And then there's Jacob Blades as well in England under 19. So there's a lot of players, particularly batters, just bubbling under. Drives, nice looking shot. They're going to hurry through for a single.
Really good run in there. Hope Bell, as soon as he hit it, he was on his bike, made a big call, and end of the over. Glamorgan 45 for 3 as Ash heads out for a break, and we'll bring in Blake. Blake is back. Glamorgan slightly better in those last couple of overs, but you would still say the game is in favour of the away side at the moment. Finn Hudson-Prentice and Dom Goodman have done a really good job of tying Glamorgan down in the power play and removing some of those top order batters. Henry Hurl and Jack Hope Bell out here trying to rescue the situation for the home side, build a bit of a partnership as we welcome back Blake. Blake, what have you made of those last couple of overs?
Yeah, cheers, Alan. Well, the third wicket falling, obviously not idealistic for Glamorgan, but Hope Bell and Hurl have looked to handle themselves relatively well, shape up pretty nicely. So it's just all about
Munt is in and driving is Hope Bell out to that deep sort of cover region. They'll come through for 1. So decent start there for Munt. Just trying to find that length that Goodman was bowling. Slightly back of a length. Slightly shorter than Goodman is Munt. But left armour as well. Give something different for these two. And that is a fantastic second ball from Munt. What a delivery. He has removed Henry Hurl for 9. And that is another big strike for Sussex early on in this game. And just as those two were starting to build a partnership, Hurl has got to go. And a fantastic start for Munt.
Yeah, exactly the start you want to your professional career. 19 years old on debut, comes in second ball, knocks off Henry Hill's off pole, middle and off. There we go, just nipped back through the gate and was slightly open for the ball to sneak through, but take nothing away from him. It was a perfect delivery really, left arm over to the right hander, and already into Dan Douthwaite in the 12th over, batting at number 6.
Yeah, and maybe that change of angle, that left arm over the wicket, just deceived Henry Hurl there. Really good ball though from Munt. Toby Munt, as we said on debut. Plenty of second team action this season. He had 5 wickets and a 50 in a game at Northants for the second team. So showed plenty of promise for Sussex so far. And he struck early on. Big job for Dan Douthwaite now, one of the more experienced members of this team, coming in at number 6. And we've seen Douthwaite's got a lot of power, hasn't he? He can find the boundary, as we just see Sussex making a couple of changes to the field. Deep extra goes out. There's a short cover in there as well. As Munt comes into Douthwaite. Douthwaite just nurses it down to the offside. It'll be cut off, but they'll come back for 2. Bit of a fumble on the boundary, but just saw the power of Douthwaite there. He only leant into that, flew off the edge, and it flew along this outfield. Made it tricky.
Look at who's to come for Glamorgan as well. 4 down. Alex Horton, relatively inexperienced in number of games played, and then you're into the bowlers: Gorvin, Van der Gugten, McElroy, Franco.
As Douthwaite just leaves that one. Bit more pace maybe there from Munt. Good length again. Just finding that good range that Goodman was hitting. That nice landing zone. Just slightly back of a length maybe from this David Road end. Douthwaite happy to let it go. And this time Douthwaite is strong in defence.
Yeah, liking the look of Munt. He's got a nice action. Not express, but brisk with his pace. We don't have a speed gun here. I'm not sure that technology's reached Neath, but he's, if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say it's the mid to late 70s region, probably around similar to Hudson Prentice. Not quite as quick as Goodman, I'd say, if comparing from the same end.
And Douthwaite again just defends, looks to maybe get a single, but the field in there is good. That's the end of the over. Glamorgan 48 for 4. The wicket of Henry Hurl in that over from Munt. And Glamorgan with a bit of work to do here. The experience of Douthwaite and the inexperience of Jack Hope-Bell. Douthwaite really needs to guide the youngster through. Hope-Bell 8 of 16 so far, with hit that nice shot out to cover for a boundary. Just looks like he's starting to get comfortable out there, but Price is back. Only one off his first over. Couple of changes here in the field.
Medium pace of Tom Price. I think you said earlier on, Anna joined from Gloucestershire at the start of this season. His brother Ollie, of course, still there. Someone who's had his injury problems, but a real talented cricketer. Been good with the bat this year as well for Sussex. Played across the T20s and in the first class. 324 runs, an average of 46 with the bat in the county championship. And of course found fame when he took a hat-trick and scored 100 in the same day for Gloucestershire. I think that was in 2024.
Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Yeah, it's a decent day for him. If I was him, I think I would have had to retire on the spot. You know, it's not going to get any better.
No. Could only dream of doing that.
Hope-Bell just looking to use the pace that is on the ball to run down to deep third, but it's not quite there at the moment. The pitch will improve throughout the day, you feel. It's not played badly thus far, despite the scoreline, but it is not necessarily coming onto the bat as much as they would have liked. Probably a good decision at the toss from Sussex, but you imagine it will dry out and improve. That's nicely played in front of square, and deep square's got a lot of work to do and does mop it up, but nicely away for Hope Bell, just making sure he doesn't get bogged down. 50 up for Glamorgan in the 13th.
Yeah, nice shot there from Hope Bell, and he's just experimenting with a few more shots now, as we saw that last ball before, as you said, just looking to use the pace and work it down to third man, but there is that backward point in place as well, so not going to be easy for him.
Yeah, included in this side today for his debut, Jack Hope Bell. 4 players left out from the 15-man squad named were Zainul Hassan, Ben Morris, Connor O'Riordan and Harry Wallace, who's the exciting son of the Glamorgan legend and current director of cricket Mark Wallace, so hopefully we do see him at some point in this competition. But Hope Bell with the nod today, looking to pull but not time, just shorter from Tom Price. Bit of an effort ball. Concludes the 13th over, 2 runs from it. Glamorgan at 54-4. Hope Bell moving into double figures and Douthwaite on 2.
Yeah, and just interested in that last ball of that over. Just saw Dan Ibrahim go out to deep backward square off that last ball, so clearly aware of the power of Dan Douthwaite and probably looking to keep Jack Hope Bell on strike. But it will be Douthwaite to face Munt from this end. Munt with an excellent first over, 1 for 3. As we said, nice action from the left armour. Maybe looks a little bit quicker than he actually is with the action. Sometimes bowler's action can be deceptive with that, but Munt in and Douthwaite looking to drive, only finds mid-off.
One thing that's good for the academy players as well, which Glamorgan do it as well as they do at Sussex, they're always getting them to play a high level of club cricket as well while they're in that academy, so he'd be used to playing against fellow professionals. A lot of Sussex players do play in the Sussex Premier League, as Glamorgan have in the South Wales Premier League as well.
And that's a nice shot from Douthwaite, just works it through the offside. There's a chase on, but it's going to go all the way. Just slightly fuller that time from Munt, and it was really well worked into the offside from Dan Douthwaite. Just leant on it, flicked it with the hands and guided it. Beautiful placement, and it runs away to that short side boundary.
Yeah, over pitched, but I think Douthwaite was very aware and cautious not to drive aggressively. Played it nicely.
As Douthwaite looking to work it towards backward point, but cuts it off. And Toby Munt is one of he's a backer, so that's Brighton and Aldridge Cricket Association academy player. It's a school next door to the Amex Stadium down in Brighton, and it's a fantastic cricket venue for a state school and academy school. You won't find much better at any of the private schools, really. Fantastic venue. Strong links to Sussex CC down there at Backer.
Good city for sport, isn't it? I've got the pleasure of going down to Hove in a few weeks. That'll be my first time there. I'm looking forward to going down there. hopefully the weather comes with me.
I lived there for 7 years down in Brighton, and it's, as you said, it's a wonderful city. So much going on all the time, so many great people, events, colourful things. Brilliant place, and the weather's usually good as well. And Toby Munt has got his second wicket. Dan Douthwaite snicks off, and it's caught behind, and that is another breakthrough from Munt, who has been absolutely superb so far. 2 for 7. Douthwaite just maybe played that a little bit too early, leaning over the ball, just caught the top of the bat. Could hear the noise from here. It was a clear and obvious nick. We just see the replay, just trying to drive on the up, catches the edge, and Munt with another breakthrough.
Yeah, length just wasn't quite there for that from Douthwaite, who previously in the over we'd seen him play within himself when driving through the offside, so it was unlike him to play expansively for how he had played previously in the over, but yeah, not quite there. Munt just left it hanging and got the reward. So 2 wickets inside 2 overs on debut. He certainly won't be complaining, but Glamorgan have got a lot of work to do with another youngster coming to the crease, Alex Horton. A bit more experienced than Hope Bell, but nonetheless he will need a score if Glamorgan are going to get to anything close to competitive.
Yeah, big job here for Alex Horton. As you've mentioned, has played a little bit of cricket in the T20 comps and hasn't done too much. He has sometimes struggled to step up to the first team level. He's got a big job here. It would be a real tick in his box if he can get a score here and guide Glamorgan up to something respectable, because this is an ominous position now. Last ball of the 14th over. Munt 2 for 7 and hunting another one here. Horton just defends, pads it down onto the leg side, and will get through for 1. So end of the over, Glamorgan 55 for 5. An excellent over again from Toby Munt, and the loss of Dan Douthwaite cheaply again. Big job on for these two. Price will continue. He's only given away 3 runs as well from his first 2. So not only have Glamorgan got to try and keep wickets in the bank, but they've got to try and score as well. It's a real difficult task, isn't it?
It is, but I think runs will come naturally while you occupy the crease. We've already seen plenty of boundaries flowing despite the wickets coming at an equally quick rate. So I think just occupying the crease, batting, well, I would have said at the start of the innings, make sure you bat your 50 overs. I mean, that looks a long way off at the moment, but the longer you stay there, then runs will naturally come. And although it's at a different level, it is worth noting Alex Horton, where he's been out of the Glamorgan first team, of course hasn't played in the county championship, did play at the start of the blast, played just one of the games, but he has been playing for Bridgend, so he's been playing 50 over cricket, 5 half centuries in 6 innings he's got in the South Wales Premier League, so this is a step up in standard of course, but he has got runs behind him.
Yeah, and that has been the problem a little bit with Alex Horton, hasn't it? Just making that step up at times. I know he's very highly thought of down at Bridgend, and as you said, he's been going really well in that competition, but of course this is a step up and a big opportunity for him now to really make a mark.
Yeah, I think he's due it, isn't he? He's been around Glamorgan. They've been thinking highly of him for a long time now, 22 years old. And he's going to find a way to get off strike off the outside edge, but safe enough. Hope Bell, who's been occupying the crease for 22 balls, will need to extend that many more if he's going to help Glamorgan along the way, because at 56 for 5 they're in a precarious position. here at Neath. Byram and Nichols both fell for 13, Hurl for 9, Smale for 0, and Douthwaite in the previous over for 6. Just to our right I can see Tim van der Gugten with his pads on. Nicely played through the offside, chase on, but it won't go up the hill. Comes back for a couple.
Yeah, nicely lent on there by Holt Bell. He's just settling in now, it seems, taking his time. But Tim van der Houten, I don't think would have wanted his pads on. You know, nearly just 15 overs into this game. We were surprised to see him playing really in the first place.
Nicely played. Slashed away just behind square, beating point, and that's run away for 4 from Hope Bell. He's played that shot nicely throughout his innings so far. Slightly shorter from Tom Price, bit of width, and Hope Bell driving off the back foot. Plays it nicely, gets it away.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's played a couple of those off the back foot, looking really strong off the back foot at the moment. And you know, it's not easy to run the ball up this slope, even with the quick outfield.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a cutter of the ball. He's more of he likes to punch. Well, a better over for Glamorgan with the boundary coming in at 7 from it. And 62 for 5 they are now.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the mechanics of that shot. You know, he's just looking at him now. He's not a huge guy. He's quite a small guy in stature. So if you can kind of keep your hands close to your body and use the momentum through a punch and use your sort of internal power. I'm no physicist by any means, but just the way I'm thinking about how the mechanics of that shot would work, using those hips, that weight transfer through the ball. He's done it really well so far. Munt comes in again, and it's nicely defended by Horton. Strong just holds the poles, and Jack Carson will be absolutely delighted with his bowlers so far, hasn't he? I mean, there's been very few bad balls, and especially from this David Road end, the two have really piled the pressure on, haven't they?
Yeah, 3 wickets from this end. Goodman with 1, Munt with 2.
Left alone by Horton.
And I think Jack Carson will probably be thinking he might not be needed to bowl here. Looks like it's doing well for the seamers. If they want to look in that department, Sussex, they've still got Ollie Kirtley, the other debutant, mentioned at the start of the game, son of England Test player and Sussex legend, and now bowling coach James Kirtley. And they've also got the all-rounders George Thomas and Dan Ibrahim, who both bowl a bit of medium pace.
Yeah, plenty of options. Munt is in again. Again, left alone by Horton. A little bit wider that time. I think Horton's just looking at the umpire, asking the question.
But any game where Jack Carson doesn't have to bowl is probably one that's going well for Sussex, because he's a very talented off-spinner.
Well, from a neutral perspective, of course, I was looking forward to seeing him bowl down here today, so I do hope he does. From a selfish point of view, I'm sure Glamorgan won't. Munt fuller length, and Horton just leans on it. And this is an excellent over again from Toby Munt.
Yeah, he gets the ball up there, lets it do a bit of talking from left arm over. Natural left armour, get the swing into the right hander, as we saw with that ball to Douthwaite. I think Glamorgan's attack will suit similarly as well, just the one spinner, Romano Franco. They're also quite seam heavy, with Gorvin, Van der Gugten, McElroy and Douthwaite.
This time Horton looks to free his hands, but just straight down to backward point. And Munt is an interesting field choice here. He's opted not to have a mid-wicket in, so if he strays from that length slightly, goes too straight, he could be hammered towards this boundary. But at the moment he's been really, really consistent with his line.
Yeah, deep square leg, fine leg, deep third and deep cover. 4 fielders allowed outside the circle at this stage of the game.
Looking for a maiden, and he's not going to get it. It's going to be spoiled off the last ball as Horton just pads it into the offside, and they'll come through for one. Bit of a misfield there, bit of a bad throw into the keeper, but they managed to corral it. 63 for 5 Glamorgan, end of 16 overs. Horton just finding his rhythm. Holt Bell as well, as we've said on debut, but especially the bowling from this David Road end has been superb, and Price as well. A little bit more expensive in the last over from Price, got hit for a boundary in that over, but still 0 for 10 from his first 3, and the away side very much on top here at Neath.
Yeah, they are. Big start with 3 wickets in the power play always helps. Bit of recovery still needed. Edge through, and it's zipped past the keeper. He's going to get full value for that. Alex Horton, 4 runs. But it was streaky, just evading Charlie Tier with a slip in as well. Just got up enough, but a chance coming again for Sussex.
Yeah, seemed to zip through a bit quicker that time, and caught Horton out a little bit. Managed to get something on it, and the old adage, if you're going to flash, flash hard. Gets a bit of luck, gets it over the top of the keeper and slip cordon.
I did catch Charlie Tier on the end of the finger, so it will go down as a drop, but a very harsh one at that.
I think you're being a bit harsh there. If he had caught that, we would have had catch of the comp already, I think.
Yeah, it would have been a good one. That slip is very wide as well, so although it was rising, it probably would have got over a first slip, but it is, I think it's, not sure who that is in there at first slip, but he's quite wide. Quick single taken, and they're going to get through comfortably.
Good call there from Alex Horton, and Hope Bell was on his toes at the other end as well. Good running, and they need to do that in this position. They need to push every single they can and turn every 1 into 2, not recklessly, but just need to be on their toes all the time and squeeze every single run out of this bowling attack.
Well, it's important to rotate the strike, as Hope Bell does there as well, because often you can see when wickets tumble, batters get stuck at one end, and even if boundaries are coming, you're still at the same end, so it's important to keep it rotating and making sure that each batter is facing bowlers from both ends, getting used to that. Another quick single, getting it in that gap between backward point and extra cover, and then Thomas comes in from the boundary. Another one who joined at the start of last summer, George Thomas from Somerset, where his brother still plays. They're a club of players with brothers elsewhere, aren't they? Tom Price, George Thomas, his brother Josh at Somerset.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how many siblings are in the game.
Whipped away, nicely played from Hope Bell, and the chase from Jack Carson up to the longest part of the ground into that corner down at long on. Does the retrieval. They do come back for 3, and at the end of the over, Glamorgan will be happy again just to keep it ticking. Aled Hopkins has left the building, or the shed. Ash Crowther's going to come back in for him after a well-deserved break after the first 11 over stint he did. That was a good stint actually, doing the first 11 overs, Ash. So welcome back. Things have got somewhat better since you went away. Wicket's still going, but runs flowing aplenty as well. And that's nicely driven, but for no run. Do you sense the pitch will get easier?
Well, I think Glamorgan will hope so, but I suppose if it gets easier for them, it'll also get easier for Sussex. Which, yeah, I mean, it was definitely difficult, wasn't it, in that first sort of 10-15 overs. I think Sussex eventually found their lines and lengths pretty well, and Glamorgan just kept losing wickets at regular intervals. They do just
कोका कोला पियो स्कैन करो और पाओ मौका जीतने का फौरी इनामात।
issue. Ball not doing anything in the air, and straight onto the middle of the bat, and threaded that through expertly. So runs coming a little bit more easily all of a sudden.
Southwaite in again, and that's worked again through that covers region. This time the other side of Jack Holt Belt, and it's back-to-back boundaries here for Thomas. And again, just slightly over pitching, bit wide as well from Douthwaite. Just give Thomas a bit of width, and this time it's through the to the left-hand side of Holt Belt, who had no chance.
Well, Douthwaite's best length is definitely a bit shorter than that, so that's of hard length, back of a length. Hit the maker's name on the bat, and the moment it just looks a little bit full, and there's a wide as well, so just a sense in which he's just been trying to, maybe not sure why he's not yet into his rhythm. So it could be all sorts of things, even the run up here maybe some slightly undulating, or just needs to get used to it and settle in.